And it's really funny when I see them say democracy is broken. This perhaps a system
our
by
democracy. They don't say democracy. They say our democracy, which means their democracy.
And they say things like perhaps a system created by 250-year-old slave owners was not a good system. And they argue that the Republicans represent the minority of this country. They represent 13 million less people. And I'm like, that's on purpose. It's literally why the system was created the way it is, to prevent majority abuse. I don't think these people realize what it would be like to live in a country of pure democracy, where it's like whatever's popular is mandated. You want minority rule. And there's a really good example. There was a period when marijuana was the minority and people were going to jail for smoking it. But now, one by one, these states are starting to legalize it and starting to become the majority opinion. You need to create a space where the minority can speak up and say, we're going to do this. That's why the electoral college makes sense. So that California, as its own jurisdiction, can say we're legalizing recreational, pot. And then all the other states can start doing it, and then eventually get a Supreme Court ruling, and boom, there it is, nationwide, legalized.
Yeah.
Under the way they want to see it, we would just be an authoritarian lockdown country with everyone would be terrified of what the majority opinion was, and it would be lowest common denominator law.
Yeah.
Everything would just be like whatever most people agree with is the law.
It's not even most people agree with. It's whoever they can get the most to the polls.
Right.
So it's not even about the voice of the people. It's just about the voice of
people.
Yeah.
And they were just talking about voter coercion from the 1800s. They'd be out there with their guns, making sure people voted or didn't vote, or having people vote twice with the disguise on, and just all sorts of literally.
No, he's not joking.
No, I know.
Like coercion, voter coercion, that kind of thing.
Is there more?
No, I was just saying people were saying something about
Michael's hard to hear because
Trump.
of his mask.
Oh, it is true. Yeah. Is that what they're saying?
No one
Don't get me sick.
No one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
Then they were complaining. Who is this guy? He doesn't sound right.
All right, I did the
but
bit.
it was a beautiful
All
match.
right.
I committed to the bit.
This is a good bit.
You full on did.
You know what
Sure
it was?
did.
It was because you couldn't get your mouth to the microphone.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
you were floating behind it.
Welcome
And it was
back,
also creating
Michael.
a weird echo. Now you sound normal.
So my thought
not
is,
normal, but
if Trump loses, Twitter's going to ban him within a week.
No, not even within a week.
They'll just ban him immediately.
Facebook already removed president from his account.
Yeah, they're
see that?
They won't ban him while he's president.
Trump's account no longer says president. It says political candidate.
Amazing.
Dude, we are.
He's still the
I'm
president
sorry.
by every measure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, we might not be in what people think is a legit full-on ground war, but this is a battle, and it's extrajudicial, it's extra legal, it is outside the confines of anything, and it is manipulation, propaganda, and an attempt to seize power. Period.
In my book, The New Right, I talk about this in 1992. Pat Buchanan, who's a very complex and troubling figure in many ways, got on the floor of the Republican convention and said, we're in a cultural war. And we don't know if Barbara Bush literally clutched her pearls. Andrew Cuomo, who was governor of New York at the time, said, culture, what does that word mean? The Nazis used to use that word, and they were all freaked out. And in that one regard, he was absolutely right, that there has been a systemic assault for over 100 years by certain very nefarious forces on the population of this country. And only now, thanks to the internet, in my opinion, and technology, are people realizing, they've been at this for a long time, and these are really bad people.
I have to wonder about all this, and because I've been hearing from a lot of people, Trump's master plan, release the Kraken, all this stuff, and I'm like, it's just never happens. Nothing crazy like this ever happens. It's always usually boring.
2016 was crazy. 2016
It was, I know.
never happened, right?
That was nuts.
Hillary's emails was so nuts.
Crazy year.
Bizarre scandal.
You look at who Joe Biden is trying to appoint now to his cabinet. Major corporations, banks, lobbyists.
He's a corporatist, yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same. And you heard what he said? He's not going to go after Trump.
Yeah.
He's not going to investigate Trump for any of these crimes, and he's going to try and bring unity to the country.
This is a thing that I like a lot about Joe Biden. And I think this is going to be hard for people to hear from me because I'm such a fire breather. He genuinely is, I think, upset by how divided this country is. He genuinely thinks this is an opportunity for him to bring people together. He genuinely has worked very well with Republicans. He boasted about working well with segregationists, for Christ's sake, during the campaign. So I think it hurts him on a visceral level. He's been a senator since 1972. And he's like, just one more point, just like this is his opportunity to be like, all right, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and try to reach out to the other side.
I don't think so, because he opened his campaign talking about Charlottesville,
Lying.
talking about fine people. He lied right out of the gate, from the beginning.
What I disagree, I think what he was trying to do there was divide the Trump Republicans and the old school Republicans, the pre-Trump Republicans, and make that coalition.
I think he's a corrupt, dirty, rotten liar who's in it to enrich himself and his family. And
There's a difference between that and the depravity of like the Clintons. Like an old school machine politician who just makes a bank. They all do that. I think that's very different between someone who's that and just really just nefarious. Like when Bill Clinton bombed Sudan during impeachment, like he blew up a factory that was making medicine just to change the headlines. This guy should be in jail, and we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you remember were you politically active in the 80s much? Or before that?
Before that,
I don't know.
I
don't know if you're 60
70?
or 30,
I know,
man.
I know, I know. I'm a
Ageless,
lich. I'm an ancient evil from time immemorial. But no, I was not politically active in the 80s.
Me neither. But the Clintons seemed like they were like young hippies.
I like that he's like, me either.
Just so you know.
Anyway,
just asking.
But the Clintons seemed like they were like young, cool hippies, and then they just got co-opted.
No, what are you talking about?
In the
Hillary was a
early
young Republican, didn't she? Who
She was a Goldwater girl.
Yeah, she worked with Goldwater.
Yeah, but Bill was like a hippie, smoking weed.
But then they went
in
to
the
college.
60s.
Right.
David Brock, his book was called The Seduction of Hillary Rodham, and it's all about how she got turned.
Yeah, and they got co-opted. They seemed like they got power hungry and co-opted.
But that wasn't.
What about the conspiracy that Bill was never actually president? That he was just the puppet for Hillary?
What?
That's nonsense.
Dude,
we know that Hillary threw a lamp at him, and the Secret Service didn't know what to do.
Chairman Mao's
Did
wife.
you know about this?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
During the Monica,
I wasn't politically active in the 90s.
Okay. During the whole impeachment drama with Hillary and Bill and Monica and all this, there was a huge fight in the White House, the private suite, and Hillary threw a lamp at Bill. He had a mark on his face the next day.
Wow.
And there was a discussion in the Secret Service. What's the protocol if the first lady is literally assaulting the president?
Domestic abuse on
Yeah,
the
but they
president.
didn't know what to do.
Wow. What did they do? Nothing?
Well, they got murdered.
Well, yeah. Oh, God. All right, that's it. We're banned.
Clearly, they were murdered.
I think she was the power behind Bill. That doesn't surprise me.
No. What happened? This is what the boomer cons don't realize about Hillary. Okay, in '93 she campaigned. In '92 they campaigned. They go 2 for the price of 1. Right? I didn't take my husband's name for a long time. Yeah. She gets in the White House. She says, "I want to run something." That was the quote. She just wanted power. They put her in charge of healthcare, which is something she had no experience with. She held the meetings in secret to remake a sixth of the economy. We're just gonna secret meetings. She bungled it so badly that the Republicans got Congress for the first time in 40 years. And after that, they vanished her. And Rush Limbaugh at the time used to have segments on his show called Hillary Sightings.
Wow.
Because they would just have her like reading children's books like once a month after that because they completely disappeared her because she was so unpopular. She only became popular after when she could play the victim card when Bill was kind of, wanking into the White House sink.
Is that what he was doing?
That was in the Star Report. Yeah, he beat
really?
off into the sink next to the Oval Office. You didn't know this?
Oh,
Yeah, I was a little kid.
what a good time.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I know the general.
No, he did. He finished into the sink.
Okay.
He rubbed one out.
Horrible.
They put it to him on the stand for
You
that.
know what?
What's that?
But this is the first I've heard of it. That's awesome. How did that come out?
I mean, probably out at the tip.
No, that's not how I meant. But thank you for clarifying. Oh God. So she stood by her man. Then they made her governor.
Senator.
I'm not really political.
Do you know where babies come from?
I'm starting to learn. Thank you.
When a president loves an intern very much.
So it looks like
he has a box of cigars.
It looks like Chairman Mao's wife was the power behind the Cultural Revolution in
Madam
China.
Mao, yeah.
Madam Mao.
And I wonder if Hillary had that kind of psychotic prowess.
Look, how insane was it that they tried to run Hillary in 2016? And there were like who was it? Martin O'Malley, and like who was the other?
Lincoln Chafee.
It was like they had just
And
grabbed
Jim
some.
Webb.
They were like they were trying to find candidates to prop up to make it seem like Hillary was actually running, and they like walked into the hallway and they grabbed like the janitor and the
But
building
they also
manager.
grabbed Bernie, and he almost won.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.